The Morning Show on XL7-TV.
Welcome to the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm Bob Reckenwald. This is Scooter. Whoop whoop. Scott Callies.
How are you?
I'm glad it's Wednesday.
Are you? I'm glad it's not a Monday, because Mondays, when you say Monday, it's a bad day. But Wednesday.
There might be a change.
This is the day you got to work.
Work every day.
Well, see, Monday and Tuesday, you kind of start, you got to break into it easy. You kind of start ramping up, and then Wednesday, you got to work. And then Thursday and Friday, you got to start winding down for the weekend.
That's the way it's supposed to work?
I don't know.
I've been doing it wrong for 50 years.
I've heard that theory, though.
I've been doing it
more
wrong
than
all
once.
this time. Dadgummit.
I've heard it more than once. So, yeah, I haven't gotten into flow with that yet. So,
Yeah.
you and I are involved in too many other things
Too many
to
others.
have a wind down.
No wind downs. I guess a guy could drink some wine and maybe wind down.
There you go. There you go.
I don't do that either.
I'm not a big wine fan.
No.
No, doesn't do a lot for me.
No.
Neither is my wife. So we don't ever keep it.
When I was a young kid, we went up to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan to visit some family, and my parents let me stay up there for a week. So me and my cousin, we broke into my great uncle's winery, and he grabbed a bottle and I grabbed a bottle. We were like 11 years old, and we finished those bottles. We spent the night in the bathtub.
I'm about to say. I think we all got them stories. My dad used to have in his basement these little. Remember when you went on the airlines, or I don't know if you.
Oh yeah,
did,
yeah.
And they give you those little bottles of alcohol, and they were all different from different shapes and different areas and different. And he had a collection of those.
Full.
They were.
They were full.
So me and a friend of mine, we got into them. Of course, we drink them, fill them up with water, put them back on the shelf. Yeah, that hurt.
My great uncle was 6'6", 280, a logger. Yeah, he come in, was wondering where we were, and my aunt said, "Well, they're in the bath. Too early for a bath. Get them outside. There are things to do." Oh boy.
Too early.
Then he got the rest of the story.
There you go. There you go.
We became house apes at that point.
Well, how was your day yesterday? Good?
Busy, very busy. Yep, it was nonstop all day.
Really? Did you get some mowing done? Or?
Done about 8 o'clock last night.
There you go.
Yep.
It was a good day for it.
Well,
though.
it gets dark too blasted early.
It does. It does. And I don't remember. I mean, it just seemed like it started changing all of a sudden. But, yeah, we were talking about that, looking at the Halloween thing coming up at the youth center and when it's going to get dark. And he's like, sunset's at 6:30. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah.
When? On that day?
Yeah, on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah, that's what they say. Sunsets at 6:30.
Wow.
I was like, holy cow. I mean, it's good for what we're doing, but it's like, man, I'm not ready for it to be that early.
Let's
There
talk
you go.
about that for a minute. Are you all ready for it? Got lots of people?
Yes, and I think we're geared up with people. I think we're geared up on how we're going to do it. I keep adding, ideas, as and I'm sure even as I'm putting it together, because I'm getting there early Saturday, starting to put it together, I'll come up with some ideas. I have to go run and get something, but yeah, this is going to be a good one. We're geared up.
Excited about it, are you?
I am. I really like doing these. And
Is this the first year back since COVID?
Since COVID, yeah, since the drive-through. So this is the first walkthrough that we're doing. And might as well say, for those who don't know, we're talking about the youth center trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Might as well talk about it since we're here.
Well, we'll mention about the dates here in just a
Yeah,
little
we'll
bit.
talk about it here in a minute.
We actually need to go to the morning prayer. We've rambled on a bit here this morning.
Yeah.
It's time for the morning prayer, brought to you by Hospice of the Ozarks, 870-508-1771. Greg Wood and his staff would be glad to help you if you've been diagnosed with a terminal illness, They will help you and your family get through those times of questions and answer anything that you've got for them. They will help you through it, let you know programs that are out there, things that will help you through. Set your mind at ease as best that it can. Hospice of the Ozarks, 870-508-1771, morning prayer. Lord, we just thank you for the day that you've given us, Lord. The weather is just awesome. We just love you and appreciate you for looking over us and keeping us safe. Lord, we just pray that you will be with the people of Israel and deal with the war that's going on over there. And Lord, we just pray for the people that they're holding that are from the United States. Lord, we just pray that you'll get those released as soon as possible. Lord, we just pray that you'll be with our government as they try to make decisions that will end this quickly. Lord, we just pray for our state government, our county government, and our city government as well. Lord, we just pray that you'll look over all the first responders, the firefighters, the policemen, and as the seasons change, so do attitudes and people's thoughts. And we just pray that you will be with all those that are involved in that. Lord, as always, we pray for the administration, the faculty of our schools, and all the students. We pray that you'll give them safe travel to and from. And this is our prayer. Amen.
Oh, honey, we've had such a wonderful...
So the Ozarks and the commercial's coming on early. So what are you doing?
I hit the wrong button.
Time for a quick word from Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. We'll be right back.
Oh, honey, we've had such a wonderful vacation here in the Ozarks. I really hate to go home.
I know. The lakes, the rivers, they've all been great for fishing. Oh, and the boating and the swimming.
And the people are so nice in the stores and restaurants.
Let's call an agent and see if we can make Mountain Home our new home.
Call the Z-Team, 870-405-0793. Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East Mountain Home.
870-405-0793. Hello, Z-Team?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for the weather, the dam reports, lake levels, and all the updates brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. RetireToArkansas.net is their website. Go there, click on live views, and this is what you see today. A little hazy today.
A little bit. You can still see it, though. I mean, that's cool.
This is a shot of the White River from Marion County, Arkansas, back into Baxter County, Arkansas. What you would normally see straight in the middle there is the city of Cotter. Down below it is the baseball field and the city park. Over to your right where that little white light is Contractors Trust. The Rainbow Bridge is off to your left, and that is going to be changed here in just a little bit. You can actually see it lifting already if you watch it close. See how it's changing?
Yep. It's lifting quick.
It is lifting quick. You got another shot we can look at? Oh, it's kind of cool, too. That is the Contractors Trust shot. You can't quite tell if the water's moving or not.
Not on that one.
Not on that one. Got some campers down there this morning. This is what we call God's country. It's a little froggy this morning, but if you're interested in taking a look at what's available in our area, go to RetireToArkansas.net. Click on MLS listings, see what's available. If you like something that you see, give Bob or Linda Zadora a call at 870-405-0793. They'll be glad to help you. I'll run through some temperatures as that clicks through. Maybe we'll get some changes. Today on October the 11th, 2023, currently in Mountain Home, it's 56. Harrison is 51. Batesville is 56. Yellville is 54. Marshall is 55. Salem is 50. Mountain View is 55. Calico Rock is 56. West Plains, Missouri is 50. Springfield, Missouri is 51. Poplar Bluff, Missouri is 53. St. Louis, Missouri is 51. Take a look at the radar. Currently, the state of Louisiana is getting drenched with rain. So is Houston, Texas, lower half of Mississippi, part of Alabama. It's going to be hitting the Florida Panhandle pretty hard this morning. But for Arkansas, we are clear today. Got some rain up above north of us, up in Iowa, going into Illinois. Wyoming's getting some rain, so is Seattle, so is Oregon. Up in the northeast, they're getting rained as well. Let's go ahead and close it on into Arkansas.
A little bit at the lower part.
Yeah, not much. From Rogers to Blytheville, from Fayetteville to Jonesboro, Fort Smith over to Memphis, Conway, Little Rock, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, Texarkana to Greenville, Mississippi. Going to be a clear day for travel today in the state of Arkansas, unless you are headed right now down to the south around Greenville. By the time you get there, it's going to be gone, so you'll be in good shape. I just killed your buddy, Scooter. Watches and warnings on the national scene. Got a little bit of frost warning coming through here. Is that what that is? Frost warning going from
That's what it looks like.
Minnesota through Wisconsin, Iowa, Northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, all the way to West Virginia. Going to be a little bit chilly there. High wind watch up in Kansas and Nebraska. And we've got special weather advisory going on in the panhandle of Texas. For Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, looks all clear. 7-day forecast. Mostly sunny today, high of 80, low tonight 57. Sunny tomorrow, high of 74. Slight chance of showers tomorrow night, low of 62. Slight chance of thunderstorms, high of 76 on Friday. 75 on Friday. Mostly clear and breezy, low of 49 on Friday night. Saturday, mostly sunny and breezy, high of 61 degrees. Low 47 on Saturday night. High on Sunday, 59. That'll be chilly. Mostly sunny and high near 55 on Monday. Low near 39 degrees Monday night and high of 59 on Tuesday. The weather she be changing. Pollen, tree pollen is low today, none tomorrow, none on Friday. Moderate grass pollen today, none tomorrow, none on Friday. Ragweed, moderate, moderate, moderate the next 3 days. Lake levels and dam reports. Lake Norfolk comes in at 553.18, which is 1.18 above full pool of 552. Lake Bull Shoals, 655.49, which is 3.51 below full pool of 659. Currently generating 2 at this time. If you'd like to check lake levels and dam reports for yourself, give them a call at 870-431-5311. They'd be glad to help you. That's been the lake levels, dam reports, and all the weather updates brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lemac Realty. 870-405-0793 is their number. Retiredtoarkansas.net is their website. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mow, dig, haul. The L-Series compact tractor offers ultimate versatility, along with a great ownership experience and service that only your local Kubota dealer can deliver. The #1 selling compact tractor in Arkansas, and built-in quality and reliability for a great price. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today. Get the L-Series tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
For all your Kubota needs, visit Ozarks Farm and Lawn in Mountain Home.
Have you ever?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's time for community news and happenings brought to you by Ozark Farm and Lawn, the dealership that deals. Ozark Farm and Lawn is located out toward Buford Road on the right-hand side of the road. Kubota's,
New Holland, Skaggs. I need to get a whole list because they carry all the top brands. I mean,
Bad Boys, I believe.
I believe they might. Actually, I'm not. Like I said, I need to get a list. I just there the other day and bought a bunch of hydraulic fluid for our tractor and filters and a whole bunch of stuff. They carry a large selection of tractors and mowers and stuff. So it's good to go out there and kind of look around because they got enough variety that you can try out some different things.
A true farm supply store because they have stuff for your tedder, your cutter, your baler, your stuff.
You'd be amazing the amount of parts they keep in there.
Let's go on with what we've got going here. The Hill and Holler Quilter Show. We'll be talking about that more. It's autumn in the Ozarks. It's the 13th and 14th, which is Friday and Saturday of this week. Talk more about that here in just a little bit. The Medicare annual enrollment period information event will be October the 17th from 9 to 5 at the Baxter County Fairground. I believe you had Mr. Vacco on yesterday, and I've heard good things about what he had to say, so that's good. Go check him out at the Baxter County Fairgrounds next Tuesday. from 9 to 5 at the Baxter County Fairgrounds. The Make a Splash cast for kids at McCabe Park, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance, will be Saturday the 21st from 9 to 1. Space is limited, so sign up today. You want more information about that, you can give Denver West a call at 870-632-9499. It's a free fishing gear fun pack. Will include rod and reel, tackle box, event t-shirt, cap, photo plaque, all brought to you mainly by Farm Bureau Insurance.
And he'll be in on Tuesday to talk more about it.
He'll be in on next Tuesday. There you go. Trunk or Treat at the Youth Center is on the 14th. Let's talk about that real quick.
Trunk or Treat.
Quick.
It is going to be a walkthrough this year. We're back to walkthrough instead of the drive-through. They'll have their bounce houses going. The Youth Center will be open. They will be doing hot dogs. I know as of now they've got 35 vendors that will be out there giving out candy.
35 vendors.
Yeah, it's growing. Every time I stop and talk to them, there's more. And then we've got, of course, the haunted house, or the haunted trail, that'll be going through the woods in the back corner. It'll be really, really cool. We put a lot of time and effort into this, but if you got kids that aren't interested in the haunted trail, that's fine. You can do any one of the events. So if you do not want to do it, that's fine. If you do want to do it, enter at your own risk.
There you go. La Torcia Brick Oven Pizza is going to have a trunk or treat at their parking lot on October the 28th from 4 to 8. The bounce house, face painting, cupcakes and cookies, hot chocolate costume contest, raffle, and prize giveaways. So be a lot of things coming up for the kids to do, and they'll all be safe. The Lions Club auction is coming up on November the 13th through the 16th from 6 to 10 nightly. Get some great deals, help your community. You can watch the auction here on XL7-TV and all of our different cable affiliates. You can listen to it on KTLO 97.9, and you'll be able to bid by going to lionsclubauction.com. Over 500 items to bid on, so it'll be more be talked about on it as time comes. So there you go. That's the community news and happenings brought to you by Ozarks Farm and Lawn, the dealership that deals. Highway 62 West out by Buford Road. We'll be back in just a moment.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
All you've ever wanted was a place to write your story. You hear it's not the right time to buy or sell a house, but really, the best time is when it's right for you. The real estate markets, they change, they go up, they go down. One thing that doesn't change is where you want to be in your life. The professionals you team up with will make your story happen. The Z Team are the professionals you need to hire for your next chapter. So call the Z Team at 870-405-0793, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Miss Peggy Moody is here with us this morning from Hill and Holler Quilting Guild. How are you, ma'am?
I'm delightful this morning. It's a beautiful fall day here in the
It's not
Ozarks.
bad. It'd be a good time to have one of those quilts in my truck.
I know, it is almost getting cool enough for this. It is.
To go along with my new heated seats. Kind of like that
I
idea.
know, that's really delightful.
It is,
Yeah.
absolutely. Tell me about, before we get to looking at these beautiful quilts, let's talk about the Quilters Guild. What is it and what's going on there?
Hill and Hollow Quilters has been around for 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary this year, and we have a quilt show every other year. So this is the odd year that we're having our quilt show, and we haven't had one for 4 years because of the pandemic. So we're excited to get going again, and we're at the Baxter County Fairgrounds this Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5 on Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturday. 260 quilts are going to be there, so it's going to be pretty amazing. We got a lot of other things too. We're going to have a raffle quilt that helps support our guild. This is how we do a lot of community quilting.
Okay.
Is the funding that we raise from that. And we're going to have some vendors. We'll have sewing kind of notions that will be for sale, and even our own members are having their own boutiques. So they make little things like aprons or little wall hanging quilts or whatever. And then I'm going to be one of the people doing a demo. So we're going to do demos of different kind of sewing techniques. And because I lived in Hawaii for 16 years, I'm going to teach how to cut a Hawaiian pattern. It's kind of like cutting a snowflake. So that'll be kind of fun. And we're going to have some games for the family. So it'll be a real nice event. Food trucks, so yeah.
This 2-day event will be at the Baxter County Fairgrounds.
Correct.
It's at the Educational Building. If you don't know where the Baxter County Fairgrounds is, it's at 1507 Fairgrounds Drive. Just go down 201 South and take a look to the right.
It's near the library, near the university. I mean, it's like right beside the campus.
Yeah, kind of tucked in there.
Yeah.
The quilts that are that you have with you today.
Yeah.
Machine or hand sewn?
This one is machine quilted, and it's done with a long arm. So it's where the one you stand up and you kind of drive the needle around on the quilt. And this one is a great aunt's quilt that I thought I would just bring in for a real difference. Like this one is not real tight with the quilting, but this one is tied. So it's hard to see these little things, but it's not even like with a machine quilted. They just tied the 3 layers together. Yeah, and the backing of it is like another blanket. So it's just the way old blankets used to be.
Quilts are just 2 pieces of fabric laid together and then sewn.
Actually 3, because there's a batting that's in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like this one is just a wall hanging, and on the backing it's you can see that, and then in between there is a little piece of, well, I use wool, so wool is my batting. This is a modern piece. It's kind of like this one, but I'm part of the Mod Squad, which is a little subgroup of the Hill and Hollow Quilters.
So if you don't mind, can you open that?
Sure.
Each one of these little pieces, that's all a separate piece that has to be sewn.
Yep.
And This was done by machine or by hand?
Yes, it was done by machine.
This one was done by machine.
Yeah. So this is a pineapple, or kind of an odd pineapple, but in it, the method was you take a square and then you fold it over and sew it. And then when you open it up, this little piece, this little orange piece right here, is in here. So then what happened is it then becomes one of the little extra pieces in this particular block. So if you look at, here's one with purple, and anyway, it became an interesting little playing with the leftover pieces. So they became part of this new quilt. And this one was even a smaller piece.
How much time did it take to make something like this, that size?
That's a really hard thing to say. So probably to piece the top, I would say a couple hours. Just a sewing machine put all of the blocks together the way this is. And I have a design wall, so I can rotate them up there on the wall and go, do I like that? Do I like those colors next to each other? And then once I figure that out, then I bring them over to the sewing machine and I do like a row, until I get it all done. And then I have to get a backing piece, another piece of fabric, and I put a piece of wool in between. And then this is a hand quilted, so this is machine quilted and this is hand quilted. I would sit with this in my lap in a hoop, and then I would just, run across the quilt until I make all these stitches.
When you say hand quilted, you mean all these little stitches here
that's
are
all
done by
hand.
But the big portion is done by machine.
Correct. So it's a combination of.
Scooter, you do much of that?
No, my daughter did.
Yeah. So it's really fun because there's so much color that's involved with it and design. So I put this together and designed this one, just from the pieces. So I had a design wall and I just kept playing by moving the pieces around, almost like a jigsaw puzzle in a way.
How long have quilts been around?
I've done research. Back? Yeah, it goes back to the Middle East or something. It's like Persia. No, that's not the Middle East, but and 3,000 years ago. I mean, it's a long time where they started putting the layers together and then making stitches to hold it. And then a lot of times it was clothing, but it was done in a quilty kind of a way because it was layered and for protection, and for warmth. So, yep, quilts have been around for a long time, and I hope that they'll stay around for a long time. I hope it's an art that, will be continued. And at this point in time, we do have a member who's our quilt show chair, Jonna Butler, and she has presented to the board that she would like to do a summer camp for kids, where we can then pass along a lot of these skills to youth and maybe get some new quilters.
Do you deal with the 4-H group any?
We have not, and they've not, from what I hear, they're not really active, and particularly in the sewing area, maybe in the animal
husbandry. Maybe they need a little encouragement to be active in the sewing area.
Exactly.
Well, for a while, we did not have a very active 4-H bunch here at all, but I understand that there's a new director. It's
picking up again? All right.
And it is picking up again.
That's
they
great.
have a good number of youth involved in that now.
That's fantastic.
So now may be a good opportunity for y'all to introduce yourself to them and what quilting is all about.
Exactly. I've been a teacher in the past as well as a quilter, so I think that's a great idea. And our guild is a lot of older members, so there's some younger members, but it's really we would like to have even younger members. It's really difficult because we meet at 9 o'clock 9:30 in the morning the second Friday of the month. And mostly retired people are off then. You can't get very many people who are working to come unless they're, independently employed. So.
Well, as any other sport or any activity, maybe to get the younger ones involved, you might have to change your meeting times or have a meeting just for them with a few of the elders that come with it.
Yeah, we have.
Maybe a Saturday morning meeting or an evening meeting.
Or we have done evening meetings in the past, and it went well for a while, and then it just started not having very many people come to it. I think sometimes as people get off work and they go, I don't want to go anywhere else. I just want to go home and get in my jammies.
With a quilt, I'll bring that question back. It's time for a quick break. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home. At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. If you're looking for something wonderful and delicious, head on over to Paradise Cream for a homemade ice cream experience. With over 20 flavors like German chocolate cake and sea salt caramel, it's always homemade and delicious. Paradise Cream has something for everyone and also carries dairy-free and vegan ice cream options. So whether you like it in a cup or in one of their homemade waffle cones, you're in for a wonderful dessert experience. Located in Mountain Home next to Ramada Inn or at their Harrison address across from Pizza Hut and Castle Rental. Let Paradise Cream cater your next event, because you're on your way to paradise.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z-Team.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Peggy Moody is with us this morning. She's with the Hill and Holler Quilters Guild. You say this organization's been around for 40 years?
Yep.
And how did it get started? Do you know?
I don't know exactly. I know that our first president, Phyllis Spear, still lives in town. And one of the PR things we did this year was to get our first and our current president together, in the Baxter Bulletin.
Is she still active?
She's not active in our guild, but apparently there were a number of ladies that just decided, let's have a guild, and then it just really...
What is a guild?
A guild is a group of people who come together with a common interest of quilting.
Okay.
And then oftentimes guilds have education, so we have members teaching members. So like I learned to do Hawaiian quilting when I lived there. And so I've had, I've taught classes on how to do Hawaiian applique, where you take that down. Other people do piece quilts, and so they'll teach classes on that. And so we're actually, part of our show, we're going to have one exhibit that's people who've brought in quilts of those classes. So that's going to be kind of fun to see. But a guild, basically what we do is we have community quilts that we then donate to 10 different organizations in Baxter and in Marion County. And so that's just, it's like a way in which we give back. So it's not just that we do it for ourselves to learn new skills and to come together with other people who inspire us. It's that we have a mission that we want to,
How often do y'all meet, and where do you meet at?
We meet once a month, the second Friday, 9:30 to 11 at the Christian Church of Mountain Home, which is kind of near here, actually.
Is that
it's the next one over. Yeah.
Okay, up behind Chin's.
Yeah.
The car wash.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you're welcome to come, and you can come into meetings. You can come to 2 meetings for free, and then after that, we hope that you'll join us. Membership is $25 a year, and it's a pretty good thing. It's very inspiring, and there's lots of ways in which you can jump in and be a volunteer. We have a quilt show that we're running. It takes a lot of, elves to make the quilt show. And then we did like the mingle earlier this year that we came in and talked to you about.
How many members do you have?
At At this point, it's like 90 something, 95. So it's a large guild. Some people feel a little intimidated. They feel like maybe they won't really get to know many other people, or that small cliques are, there. And we've been really aware of that and trying to do different things to make members feel welcome. Like mentoring, you can come in and be matched up with another quilter that's experienced and make you feel a little bit more welcome.
Where do you find that most of your members come from? What part of the
I would say Mountain Home, but we do have people who come in from Jonesboro.
Like when they move here and then join you, where do they come from?
I would say
Are
Chicago.
they up north?
Yes.
Where they need a quilt every now and then?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of members come from like Illinois, Chicago area, I would think. A lot from Texas too, though. So we have a lot of members from there.
If we go back and look at the history of a quilt, can you trace it back to one country or another that would be prominent quilters, Germany or France, or?
I would say all around the world.
Just all around.
Literally. Because you can see it in Asia, the Middle East, Are
the styles different from those different
Yes, there
countries?
are some distinctive ways in which quilts are made, but there's still 3 layers. So that's like the definition of a quilt, 3 layers. But they could be made with all kinds of different fabrics that are, and designs of the fabrics that are from that region.
And the center layer could be different as well?
It could be, yeah. The old Hawaiians or the ancient Hawaiians used to use like a fern that they would put in between. And I don't mean the green part. It would be sort of like a thistle, something that was soft and fluffy. And they would use that in between their quilts. But you can use, like this one has got a blanket that's in between the layers. So it's really heavy. This one's heavy. This one's a lot lighter. So it's just, it's about warmth. It's about practicality. But then you start getting into things like this where it becomes a little bit more like art.
It's just for decor then.
Yeah, and so you want to put it on the wall, or, you could use it as a lap quilt. Like if you were in a wheelchair, you could maybe like put a quilt that's smaller in there. But so I would say all over the world in different colors. So that's why when quilters go and travel, one of the first things they want to do is get to a quilt store to see the local fabrics. This summer I was traveling up and we went to Walla Walla, and on the way back we were coming through like Montana and South Dakota, and I wanted to find a quilt store everywhere I could, and just to see what fabrics are they stressing that their local people want to use into a quilt. And there was a lot of nature kinds of fabrics, but because there's a lot of moose and elk and that kind of thing up there. So that was kind of cool, and Native American stuff as well. So,
has the art of hand quilting about disappeared?
It hasn't disappeared, but I'm one of the few. Well, no, there's probably maybe 8 or 10 of us in the Guild of 90. And then we just had an event at Hill and Hollow Quilters. I was one of the quilters there when they did the Pioneer Days or the sesquicentennial over at the Cooper Park. And we went into the schoolhouse building and we sat there and kind of showed how we hand quilted. And a lot of people were very, very interested. I had a couple little kids. In fact, a little boy came up to me and he was just like, fascinated with what I was doing, and I was trying to show, like when you go into the hoop at the top, your finger down below is receiving the needle, and you're going through the layers. And he was just like wanting to almost like look underneath and see what was going on. It was very touching. It was a good deal.
Got to have tough skin for that.
I do have a pretty good callus on this finger.
The time that it takes to hand quilt.
Much longer.
How?
Well,
on an average size quilt, how long does it take?
Well, I do Hawaiian quilts, which is like a gigantic snowflake.
Okay.
And to needle turn down that top layer onto the background fabric, some of my big, like queen-sized Hawaiian quilts could take 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And if I'm really like working on it, like maybe 3 hours a night, 6 days a week, it still takes me probably a year to do it. So,
is there a pattern to the sewing of the quilt, or is that just to get each little piece put together?
Yeah, it would just be to turn under that piece of fabric and stitch it down, and it's just a running stitch. It's not a real complicated stitch. Other people who do hand quilting might embroider it down and then use a different kind of floss or a thread that would be a colorful thing, and then that you can make turkey stitches, or like turkey feet stitches or teardrop stitches, and then it just embellishes the quilt and kind of adds another layer to it.
So when a machine does the actual quilting of the pieces that you've put together, do you set a pattern inside the machine and just let it go? How does that?
Yeah, that's what this one is. It's hard to see the design probably from the TV, but it was just an overall pattern, and so the machine just goes across the quilt, just doing that. Yeah,
it'll wave through
like a scribble, and then it'll come back, and then it'll go back.
But it's consistent in that design throughout.
So this one is the same overall, and I guess if you could see the back of it, then you can
you can actually
see the quilting a little bit easier on that. So that's kind of nice, but there are some long arm quilters that will do what they call, fancy stitching, and they'll like take all the shapes and maybe do things in this empty space here. We have our raffle quilt this year is a modern quilt, which means there's a lot of negative space, which means a lot of white, and you've got the fabric that's got color that's in one part, and then you just have a lot of empty space. And that allows the quilter to really do a lot of designs like swirls and triangles and circles and just all kinds of imitating of, like there's flying geese, which is triangles. And so then she did that, Patty Kratz did our quilting for that, and she is just amazing. So there's going to be raffle quilt tickets for that particular quilt, and if you go on our website, you can see it on the front page.
What is your web address?
www.hillandhollowquilters.com.
This event that's coming up Friday and Saturday, the 13th and the 14th. It's from 9 to 5 on Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. It's at Baxter County Fairgrounds Educational Building at 1507 Fairgrounds Drive. The admission is $7 for adults. Children under 12 are free. Over 300 quilts will be there. Vendors, country store, chances to win the raffle quilt. Games for all ages. Alice.
Yeah, McElwain. She's doing appraisals. So like if you had an antique quilt and you wanted it appraised, those slots are already filled, so we can't really advertise that the community can bring in a quilt for appraisal. But it's a nice feature to a show to have a woman or not a woman, anybody who will come in and look at your quilt and say, well, for insurance purposes, it's worth this much. So, like if you had a fire in your house, this would just be considered a blanket. It wouldn't have an intrinsic value to it that an appraiser can give it. And I'm going to have 2 other quilts that I'm putting in the show appraised just to see, what the value of them is to an appraiser.
The time that it takes to make them is what gives them the value, or the designs, or what?
It's a little of everything. I mean, if I did original design, which is what I did on this one, and then I hand quilted it, which means time, and it's my design, then all those factors add up to give it more value. Then, quilts that have an overall pattern have a value, but they would have maybe less of a value than something that's a fancy design on it. It's a little bit of value, it's the opinion of the appraiser, but the appraiser has usually been trained to know what is, valuable and inherently, I guess.
What is the most valuable quilt that you know of?
Well,
that's been appraised out.
I've sold one for $2,500, so I know that somebody would pay that much. And that was in Hawaii. It was a Hawaiian quilt, so again, a lot of time went into that quilt, and but I mean, you can get, thousands of dollars for a quilt, or you can get, a lot of area quilters might make a nice size quilt, a twin size quilt for like $250. So it can really range. And
with a group of 90 ladies that do your Quilters Guild, do any of them possess a quilt that's known to be very old?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I would think so. We occasionally we have show and tell every meeting. And so somebody, like I might bring in an old quilt and somebody might bring in one. And we have had some bring in quilts that maybe a community member gave to them. But I don't know age-wise what would be the oldest quilt or the most valuable.
You know, with some of the older homes that we have here and some of the elderly passing.
And estate sales,
You go into a home and there's a trunk, you open it up and it's full of old quilts.
Yeah.
You know, there's no telling how old those are.
Yeah.
Can you tell the age of, we better take a quick break. I'll come back with a good question here in just a moment. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be right back.
Providing caring, compassionate services at an affordable price is our goal at Connor Family Funeral Home. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that treats our friends and neighbors just like family, with a wide range of services and options to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area. Connor Family addresses all the details with no hidden fees, so you can rest assured that you are treated like family for a more personalized and worry-free service. That's Connor Family Funeral Home, where compassion and affordability meet, located in Mountain Home.
Mow, dig, haul. The L-Series compact tractor offers ultimate versatility, along with a great ownership experience and service that only your local Kubota dealer can deliver. The #1 selling compact tractor in Arkansas, and built-in quality and reliability for a great price. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today. Get the L-Series tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
For all your Kubota needs, visit Ozarks Farm and Lawn in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Miss Peggy Moody is here with me this morning from Hill and Holler Quilters Guild, an organization that's been around a long, long time. You've got members. You're looking for some new members. You've had old members. You've had some members pass.
Yes. Yes, for this particular show, we decided to honor 3 of our members who have passed away in the last 4 years. Maureen Forster, she was just a great inspiration and very active member for many years, so she's one. Joanne Moore passed away 3 years ago, I think, and she was a grandmaster of applique and beautiful, detailed stitching. And then just recently, Betty Pulver passed away, and she's an incredible appliquer as well. So we're going to honor them, and I think it'll just be neat to see what their value was to the guild, and that we're just happy to be able to have the community see that.
When a quilt is made, do you see where different designs, you keep talking about this Hawaiian quilting and things. Do you see that here on the mainland side where like maybe the Northwest has this particular type of designs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Midwest has this design.
Yeah.
Talk about that a
When I
moment.
was coming through the Northwest and down through Montana and South Dakota, Native Americans do a gigantic star, and that's just a really traditional kind of a pattern. And my sister bought me a book for my birthday of the different indigenous quilts, and they have some where they applique in, like in the middle of the big star, like a buffalo, or just like another animal that's really important to them. But the star signals like a tribute to ascension and to, you know, to their gods, their higher beings that they, you know, pay tribute to. So that's just one example of different kinds of quilts.
Mm-hmm. Is there a thickness difference between different
Yes.
regions?
Well, yes, there could be, because depending on the loft of what you put in between, because there's polyester that can get a really big loft, and then you have really puffy, and that's kind of fun and nice and cozy.
So if you're from up north and it's really cold, they may be thicker there to where
They might be,
you
yeah.
may still see a quilt down in Florida, but it's more like a lap blanket
Yeah.
like that one. And
Well, and it's interesting because depending on the nature of it, like I love wool. It's very, very super thin, but it's cool in the summer and it's warm in the winter, but it's very light. So you can have a very warm quilt depending on what you're using. A lot of quilters use like a cotton poly blend. It just lasts a long time. And it's easy to sew through. For me, because I'm a hand quilter, the wool is like butter. I mean, it's just so easy to go through, and that's partly why I choose that. It's very versatile, though, and it's organic. Wool is organic. Well, so is cotton. But
I notice a trend out and about with the student athletes that we deal with all the time. A lot of times their parents will take some of their sporting event T-shirts that they've had and have them turned into quilts. Is there anybody in your organization that's doing
Yes, there
those?
are. I think there's several people that do T-shirt quilts. And, you know, it's just a really nice way to save something. Like, I'm really into reusing things, so I do Hawaiian shirt and put them into quilts so that I'm taking an old shirt, cutting it up. Traditionally, that's probably what this quilt is made out of, dresses and shirts. And I mean, you just take and reuse things to make another new thing, even though it's kind of old, but it's nice and soft because of that. So
It just amazes me. I can think of people sitting back and knitting.
Yep.
And then there's people that will crochet.
Mhm.
And then there's people that will do quilting.
Yep.
And everything's time consuming.
Yeah, it is. But it's comforting to me. It's like, you know, men and women might be out in a wood shop because, you know, that's what's comforting to them. It fills their time. It like sparks their creativity, and it's something that they want to do. But yeah, fitting in sewing into a very busy day, and especially if you're like a family person who's got little kids you're running after, or maybe grandma and grandpa that you're running after, it becomes a challenge to find that time. For me, it's a little easier. I am able to find at least a couple hours a day to put into quilting.
What would you say to the mom or dad or the grandparent that's watching the show this morning about getting their grandchild involved in quilting?
You start with a small project. You know, if you as a parent don't know how to sew, you probably have a neighbor that does. And so you could get your child to maybe sit with this neighbor and, you know, watch what they're doing, like this little boy did at, Cooper Park. He was so fascinated with what I was doing. And I think kids are interested in making something they can say, this is mine, you know.
I did it,
yeah. And it's not that hard to do. There's lots of fabric that you can, fabric's expensive if you're doing really nice, good quilt fabric.
But if you've got a bunch of old T-shirts laying around,
Yeah,
you've got
this is made from shirts. And,
just things
yeah.
laying around, cut it up
Yeah.
into small pieces and put it together.
Exactly.
Now, could a young child or teenager start off with making like a pot holder or something and quilting that?
Yeah, or a pillow, just make a small pillowcase.
Something they could be proud of and
Yeah.
say, hey, I did this, and then
Yeah.
they could be encouraged to do something a little larger.
Yep. I started in Hawaii, and so the first thing I made was a Hawaiian
At what age,
pillow.
if you don't mind me asking?
I was 50-something. So I was not young.
Okay.
No, I was sewing when I was a
So
little
this is something
little
that can
kid.
be done from little to
Oh, yeah.
to elderly?
Oh, yeah. So I started, like, it was kind of when I was semi-retired. And I went to a community education center, and that's where I learned from these, Hawaiian quilters. But the second project that I did, so I did my little pillow first. Second project I did was a twin quilt. I mean, I just was hooked.
From the frying pan out to the fire you went. Yeah.
And if somebody's interested in quilting, that usually happens, is they'll find that it's like, oh, this is so fun to put these things together.
Do you have people in the organization that will gladly help a beginner?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say every single member in our guild would do that. We're very generous, spirited guild members, so.
How would somebody contact someone within the guild to talk about that?
Well, there is a phone number connected on our website that you can call, and it'll come to me. And if you want to just come to the guild meeting, I mean, that's another way. Is usually when a new member comes in, they get a little badge that identifies them as a guest. And if they had that question, like, could I find somebody who will help my child or, me learn how to quilt? All they have to do is say that to somebody, and then we'll get the president, we'll make an announcement. We have somebody who's interested in that. Does anybody want to step up and do that?
Do you have to be a knowledgeable sewer before you can become a quilter? Can you start from scratch?
You can start from scratch. Yeah. I mean, I sewed when I was little, but I didn't sew too much. I did some clothing, but I did not make quilts at all until I was in my 50s, at least. So,
and will you have a meeting in October, or will this event take the place of the meeting?
It would normally be this Friday, but this event is taking place. So our next meeting will be, and it's on the website, it's November something. It's on the homepage. I can't remember the exact date.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to mention before we're done that this year we have viewer's choice. So if you come and you just look at all the quilts, you get to choose first, second, and third of who wins the beautiful ribbons that we have. And then we're also going to have members' choice, because the community may look at something in a different kind of an eye than somebody who makes quilts.
Mm-hmm.
And but that doesn't mean that there's not community members that really are already sewing, because we're hoping we'd get a lot of quilters to come to the quilt show.
Do you pick up members from this?
The show?
The shows that you have normally?
I don't know, but that's a good question. I would think so. Our guild is fairly well known in the region, so a lot of people come from Springfield and from around to come and see this particular show. It's a high quality show, so they know about us if they wanted to join. Like I said, we have members that come from Jonesboro and Mountain View, and I come all the way from south. I'm in Searcy County, where I drive into Mountain Home too.
Oh wow!
Yeah. What
we're talking about is the Hill and Holler Quilters Guild, and they're presenting their quilt show for 2023.
Yes.
The Autumn in the Ozarks. It's going to be October 13th and 14th, which is a Friday from 9 to 5,
This
Saturday
Friday.
from 9 to 4. This is this Friday. It's at the Baxter County Fairgrounds at the Educational Building at 1507 Fairgrounds Drive here in Mountain Home. Admission is $7 for adults and kids up to the age of 12 or down to the age of 12, and from 12 and under is free. A bunch of quilts will be there. There'll be vendors, a country store, chances to win a raffle that's for a quilt, games for all ages. You're going to have someone there doing appraisals, but that's by appointment only, and that's kind of scheduled up. World in a Bag and Temperature Quilts, what is that? We've got about a minute left.
I know, we have challenges every year, and so now we have 4 years of challenges. And so World in a Bag is this year's challenge, where we made bags, and it's all the bags are going to go to Into the Light organization here in Mountain Home that helps children who are being trafficked, whatever that word is. Trafficked. And so the other challenges have different things that they were donated to.
There you go.
Yeah.
For more information, go to the Guild's website for full details as they develop. It is www.hillandhollerquilters.com. They'll have a list of scheduled events. They'll have a list of their meetings and when and where.
Yep.
You meet at the same place every time, which is the Christian Church of Mountain Home.
Correct.
And we sure appreciate you joining us this morning.
I appreciate you helping us promote the show and get it out to the community. So Thank you very much.
Scooter, you got anything? We got another 10 seconds.
No, I'm always amazed at the work that goes into those, and the patience that somebody has to sit there and do all that.
There you
It's
go.
pretty cool, though.
Thanks for joining us. You've been watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.